The violence seems to be getting worse by the day. Roadblocks are being established in some Arab neighborhoods. But is shutting down the neighborhoods and bringing in more Israeli troops the answer here?
Well, the Israeli police have heightened security over the last, in fact, 10 days. We've taken careful steps in carrying out security measures, but due to the ongoing attacks that have taken place, which unfortunately have cost the lives of 7 Israelis that have been killed, both in Jerusalem as well as in Judea and Samaria, it's been necessary to mobilize different units in Jerusalem that can respond quickly to ongoing terrorist attacks. We're dealing with lone wolves, individuals who are leaving the different Israeli Arab neighborhoods such as Tzur Bacher and Ras Al Amud, and instead of going to work and carrying out a regular day's work or coming into Jerusalem for medical treatment and assistance, what is taking place is they're carrying out terrorist attacks and targeting innocent Israelis. So definitely security, heightened security will continue. The Israeli IDF forces, 300 extra personnel, are now working under the command of the Israeli National Police, which is important and significant as well. And also after yesterday evening's cabinet decision, at the moment, later on, what we've seen, at least during the day, is roadblocks that have been set up in the different neighborhoods to make sure that we have more control of individuals that are coming in and out.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mickey, I understand the need for security. What the Palestinians say, their point is that these security measures that Israel is imposing, they say makes the situation, a bad situation, even worse. And they also then say, with all this Israeli presence, all of these blockades or whatever, they have a right to defend themselves, to which you say, can you hear me?
I didn't hear you exactly what you said towards the end, but I wanted...
the point is the Palestinians say what you're doing, which is perhaps understandable, but what you're doing is making a bad situation even worse by shutting off neighborhoods, putting police all over the place, bringing in the military. That's only further exacerbating a very, very tense situation.
All the steps that are being taken in order to make sure that the situation stays under control and it doesn't get out of hand. We've seen over the last 10 days incitement, both in the Palestinian media as well as across the social media, which is definitely a problem. It's inciting young individuals, Palestinians as well as Israeli Arabs, to carry out attack. There's no reasons whatsoever for there to be incitement. The situation on the ground until just over 10 days ago was relatively calm and relatively quiet. But at this moment in time, we're dealing with the lone wolves, those individuals who are the potential terrorists. And our police operations will continue on 2 levels. Number 1, extra police units in and around Jerusalem with emphasis on the Old City. And at the same time, intelligence trying to find those potential terrorists and a fast response to any incidents and any attacks on all levels.
The Israeli Public Service Minister approved steps today that would make it easier, we're told, for Israeli civilians to obtain gun permits. Do you think Israeli citizens should be defending the streets with more guns on their sides, armed?
Absolutely, there's no problem with that issue whatsoever. The more Israelis that are walking around with pistols, that is important that the members of the public can also respond and react. Let's not forget that just over a week ago, a Palestinian 18-year-old woman stabbed an Israeli man in the back of his neck in the Old City. He pulled out his weapon, he responded, and he shot that Palestinian woman, who was in fact taken to hospital in serious condition. So it is effective. Every Israeli walking around with a pistol has gone through 3 years of IDF training, and therefore there's no problem whatsoever. Apart from the individuals that are walking around and personal security officers that are also in and around the streets, that supports the general security that's taking place in coordination with the Israeli National Police.
So you're saying that Israeli citizens, not only in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, all over the country, should start packing weapons right now, walking around with pistols?
What I'm saying is that people who have pistols and who can walk around in the streets with weapons, there's no problem with that whatsoever. Everyone is well trained, has gone through 3 years of IDF service, reliable, responsible, has gone through training. And yes, it's an important step in the same way as many years ago there were individuals and security guards outside every restaurant, central bus stations. One of the plans is to heighten security also on public buses as well. So there'll be a private security response on buses and public transport. At this stage, we're taking every step necessary, both in public areas and national security, in order to make sure that the situation stays under control.
Well, one final question, Mickey, before I let you go. Aren't you concerned, though? It's one thing for police, military to walk around with weapons, but it's another thing for civilians simply to be walking around with weapons. Some of them may be trained, some of them not so well trained. Aren't you concerned that they might simply shoot before they really know for sure that there's a danger?
There are very strict firing orders when one is allowed to open fire, both for the Israeli police as well as for citizens. One is only allowed to open fire when you're in a life-threatening situation. But unfortunately, what we've seen over the last 10 days is sporadic attacks that have taken place in many cities around the country. And therefore, at this moment in time, we have to make sure that heightened security continues. People that are walking around with their own personal weapons, and lots of Israeli national police, border police and undercover units that are working in different areas is essential. The rapid response of our police officers has prevented Israelis from being injured or even killed, and this will continue as long as necessary until the situation calms down.